What if the stories we know are wrong? We hear tales of powerful men, men with guns and dark suits. They are called godfathers. They rule the streets of Sicily with iron fists. But what if this is only half the story? What if the true strength of these deadly families does not come from the men we see? What if it comes from the women we do not? The deadliest families are ruled by unseen queens, mothers, wives, sisters. They are the shadows behind the thrones. Sicily is an island of breathtaking contrasts. The sun burns bright in the sky, turning the land to gold. Ancient olive groves stretch across rolling hills, their silver leaves shimmering in the breeze. The air is thick with the sweet scent of lemon blossoms, the salty tang of the Mediterranean Sea. Villages of stone cling to the sides of mountains, their narrow streets twisting like ancient secrets. In these sun-drenched towns you will see the women. They move with a quiet grace. Their faces are often hidden behind veils, their eyes holding stories that no outsider could ever hope to understand. They walk to the market, their baskets filled with fresh bread and ripe tomatoes. The story of Mafia women begins with a sacred promise. It is a promise made not with words but with blood. When a man joins the family, he takes a blood oath. He pledges his life to Cosa Nostra. But he is not the only one who makes this vow. His wife, his mother, his sisters, they too are bound by this oath. Their lives are no longer their own. They belong to the family. Their first loyalty is not to God, not to the state, but to the clan. This silence, known as omerta, was the most important lesson. She saw everything, but she spoke of nothing. She knew her husband was a killer, but she would tell the police he was at home with her all night. The Mafia woman is the moral compass of the family, but her compass points in a different direction than ours. For her, honor is not about obeying the law, it is about protecting the family. She teaches her children these values from their earliest days. A son is taught to be a man of respect, to be tough, to never show weakness, to be ready to defend the family's honor with his life. He learns that the family is everything and that all outsiders are potential enemies. A daughter is taught a different set of lessons. She learns the importance of discretion. She learns the importance of modesty. She learns how to keep secrets. She learns that her future marriage will be a strategic alliance, a way to strengthen the family's power by linking it to another powerful clan. The power of a Mafia woman is like the roots of an old olive tree. You can't see it from the surface, but it runs deep and holds everything in place. She doesn't give orders directly. Her influence is subtle, persuasive. She is the chief advisor to her husband, the godfather. When he faces a tough decision, like whether to start a war with a rival family or who to trust in a new venture, he turns to her. These women are masters of communication. In a world where phone lines are tapped and conversations recorded, they've built a secret language. They use coded phrases, gestures, signals. A woman hanging laundry on a balcony might arrange clothes in a specific order to signal it's safe for a meeting. When a man is arrested and sent to prison, his wife's role becomes critical. She visits him in prison, receiving orders in brief, monitored meetings. To outsiders, she's a devoted wife, but in reality, she is the acting boss, the regent in the king's absence. There are traditions within the Mafia that are known only to a select few. When a woman marries into a powerful clan, she does not just gain a husband, she inherits a legacy of secrets and obligations. There is often a private ceremony, attended only by the senior women of the two families. In this ritual, the bride is told the hidden history of her new family, old feuds, secret alliances, the blood that has been spilled to protect their name. The inheritance of power is not always from father to son. Sometimes it passes through the female line. When a Mafia boss dies, his most prized possession is not his money, not his territory, but his network of secrets. These secrets are often entrusted to his wife or his most trusted daughter. One of the most sacred duties for a Mafia woman is the care of the family's fugitives. It is the women who create the network that keeps him safe. A remote farmhouse, a hidden room in a city apartment, food, clean clothes, news from the outside world. This is not just a duty, it is a sacred trust. To shelter a fugitive is to protect the family itself. For many years, the power of Mafia women remained hidden. They were the silent partners, the advisors in the shadows. But the world is changing, and so is the Mafia. In recent decades, a new kind of woman has emerged. These are not just the wives and mothers of bosses, they are the bosses themselves. Take the story of Giussi Vitale. Her brothers were powerful bosses in Partinico, a town near Palermo. When they were all arrested, Giussi took over. She was not a quiet regent ruling from behind the scenes. She was the boss. She gave orders, she managed the family's extortion rackets, she negotiated with other clans. Another powerful figure was Erminia Giuliano from Naples. She was known as Celeste because of her piercing blue eyes. She even posed for a famous police mugshot, wearing a lavish fur coat, a defiant look on her face. She was sending a message, she was in charge, and she was not afraid. These new matriarchs were breaking all the old rules. They have had to fight harder to gain their position. They have had to prove themselves in a world that has always been dominated by men. They are not content to stay in the shadows. They want power for themselves. They are the new queens and they are claiming their thrones. Living as a woman inside the Mafia is like being caught in a spider's web. The threads of family, loyalty and duty, they provide support and identity, but they also trap you. Every woman knows that one wrong step, one careless word, could lead to disaster. The fear is constant. It is the fear of the police kicking down the door in the middle of the night. It is the fear of a rival family seeking revenge. It is the fear that your husband will not come home, or that your son will be next to die in a street war. This fear is a silent companion, a shadow that never leaves. The secrets they carry are a heavy burden. Imagine knowing that your family's wealth comes from the suffering of others. The women of the Mafia must find a way to live with this knowledge. They build walls around their hearts and minds. They tell themselves that they are doing what is necessary to protect their family, but sometimes the web breaks. Some women decide they can no longer live this life. They choose to cooperate with the police, to become informants. They are the ones who dare to tear the web apart, risking everything to escape the legacy of fear that has defined their lives for so long. The world of the Sicilian Mafia is at a crossroads. The old ways are dying. The traditional code of honor is being replaced by a more modern, more brutal form of organized crime. The men who once ruled with absolute power are now spending their lives in prison. This has created a space for the women to step forward. We have seen them emerge from the shadows, not just as regents for their imprisoned husbands, but as leaders in their own right. They have proven that they can be just as cunning, just as ruthless, just as effective as any man. So, the question we must ask is this: what does the future hold for these unseen queens? Will they continue to step into the light, taking their place at the head of the family table? Will we see the rise of female godfathers or godmothers who rule openly? Power abhors a vacuum, and these women are ready and willing to fill it. Perhaps their rule will be different. They might use their skills in negotiation, diplomacy, to build alliances instead of rivalries. Or perhaps this is just wishful thinking. Power corrupts, and the women who rise to the top of this criminal underworld may prove to be even more dangerous than the men they replaced. The story of Sicily's Mafia women is far from over. It is a story that is still being written in secret meetings, in coded messages, and in the hearts of the women who are navigating this treacherous world. Will they forever remain the power behind the throne, the silent architects of a world run by men? Or will these matriarchs finally step out of the shadows and claim their crowns in the full light of day? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain: the unseen queens of Sicily will continue to be a force to be reckoned with. Their legacy of blood, their legacy of secrets, shaping the future of the world's most infamous criminal organization.